Hello, everybody. This is Ron Dittmars talking to you from the Erasmus Academy Recording Studios in Brooklyn, New York. And tonight we have a very special honor of having uh, Dr. Ben DeSmidt describe the course that we're offering this spring, which you can see on the screen, Erasmus Academy Spring 21, third semester Latin, reading Pliny's Letters, which starts January 27th and goes through April 21st. You can see that his name is here on the right, the instructor, and also he will have a preceptor with him who will offer 1 hour of outside of class, setting the historical context of the letters that you'll be reading. So if you go to the website Erasmus Academy and you scroll down to the third semester Latin on the page on the drop down that says courses, then you can come to the home page of this course, and then you'll see links to the complete course description, which which is further down this way, as you can see, and then also the enrollment form, and then also some testimonials from earlier years of having taught the course. So we're going to switch over then to our video here. So I'm Ron Dittmars, and this is Ben, Dr. Ben DeSmidt, with us tonight. His camera is a little bit better than mine because I'm a little bit blurry, and yours is quite good. Um, so um, Dr. DeSmidt is going to describe some aspects of the course, how it fits together as a third semester college course, as a transition from the first year basic course that you would take at college or an intensive course during the summer, and then also some of the reason for choosing the letters of Pliny as a nice topic for this transitional course from elementary or foundational reading to more advanced reading. So we really appreciate your being here. And uh, Dr. Schmidt, often he's been teaching courses with Erasmus Academy for 8 years, and he also always has a large enrollment, which sometimes the other instructors are jealous of. Yeah, it's just because he's popular and the word gets around about how really strong his instruction is, and so we're really pleased about that. So anyway, I'm going to sort of sign off and have you take over, Ben.
Well, thank you. Thanks very much, Professor Dittmars. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you tonight and all of you out there about this, I think, what will be a very interesting course. And really, in my mind, I think one of the best ways to follow up a first year experience in the Latin language to follow with a third semester course on a prose author as interesting and with as terrific Latin as Pliny writes. My name, as Professor Dittmars said, is Ben DeSmidt. I have been teaching Latin since I was in my second year of graduate school at Columbia University. And one of the first courses that I taught as a TA, that is a teaching assistant, was Pliny's Letters. I was teaching assistant in 1997 to Professor Alan Cameron at Columbia University, and as his teaching assistant, I ran basically the study sessions and many of the course sessions and test sessions of Pliny's Letters. So when I was considering what to offer for third semester Latin, Pliny came to mind. And so it's a rather traditional choice, and I think it makes a really wonderful opportunity because of the nature of Pliny's collection of letters. So much of Latin culture, history, and of course interesting features of the Latin language present themselves in Pliny's correspondence that I think it's an author and a collection of Latin that never tires. And so in many ways, I think the collection offers something for everyone, and I'm very much looking forward to reading these letters with you and continuing study of the language with you. As I mentioned, I was a graduate student at Columbia University, where I received my PhD. Before that, I was an undergraduate at the University of Chicago, where I received my bachelor's degree. So at Columbia University, I taught all levels of the Latin language and the Greek language. And I also was engaged in teaching courses in Greek and Roman civilization at Columbia University, at Brooklyn College. And then when I left and received my first teaching position at the University of Wisconsin and subsequently at Carthage College in Kenosha, Wisconsin, I continued teaching Latin, Greek at all levels, as well as courses in Roman and Greek civilization. During that time, I also began teaching for the Erasmus Academy in the summer, and so I offer in its summer session an introduction to the Latin language over 7 weeks. And this course is really, I think, the course in Pliny, that is a very natural continuation of a first-year Latin course, either in a regular semester format or an intensive summer format. So the design of this course is really to solidify that early learning of the Latin language. So when you've been spending an intense period of time or even a year learning the basic fundamentals of a language, in this case the Latin language, there's a tendency to begin to forget some of the concepts and ideas, and also there's only a finite amount of vocabulary that one can learn during that time. And so this course on Pliny is really designed to solidify that basis in Latin grammar, to expand one's understanding of the grammatical concepts, and also expand one's vocabulary. In addition to that, because we'll be reading letters by such an interesting author covering a fairly significant period of Roman history, that is, reaching back into the late Republic and also into the Empire, we'll also have the opportunity to discuss and explore, right, many concepts of Latin culture and social history. And what I'm very excited about is that this course will offer the opportunity to attend an additional session run by our preceptor, Sierra Stange, right? And so Sierra will be offering an additional 1-hour session to explore those historical concepts, the social history and culture that Pliny will be describing in those letters in greater detail. So I think it's an absolutely incredible opportunity to have our 3-hour session discussing the letters themselves, the Latin language, the Latin grammar, and what we're able to discuss of the history in Pliny's letters. But that will be reinforced by the additional preceptor session. And so I would encourage all of those signing up for the class to attend also those preceptor sessions. I think it's just a terrific opportunity for you all out there. So those preceptor sessions will be focusing on the history and the culture. Our class, our 3 hours together, will usually be broken into 3 parts. The first 45 minutes or so will discuss your homework for the day. And so every session you'll be asked to prepare a section from Pliny's letters to translate and to discuss in terms of the grammatical concepts and the use of the Latin language. Based on your homework for that session, I'll prepare points that I want to address, but that first 45 minutes will also be an opportunity for you to discuss, to ask points that were confusing to you or that you would like further clarification about in that first 45 minutes or so. The next hour will begin working through the material in greater detail, talking about the language, reviewing grammatical concepts, and that will then extend after a 5 or 10 minute break into our third hour of the class session. Now, because this course is really designed to bolster what you've learned in a first year class, because we'll be reading actual Latin by an actual author, we'll also be spending a significant amount of time learning how to navigate Latin dictionaries, the Latin grammar as it's presented traditionally in grammar books, through resources that are available online. So each session I'll also be showing you how we use those resources in the study of Latin. It may seem intuitive and not really something that requires a lot of instruction, but the dictionaries that we use to study classical languages, Latin and ancient Greek, function differently than dictionaries that we may use in the study of English or in other modern languages. And so it takes a little bit of practice to understand how they operate. Likewise, the large grammars that we need to consult when we're studying, right, concepts in detail also require a little bit of facility. And so we'll spend time examining how we study grammar by reading actual grammatical presentations through those online resources. So each of our class sessions will be divided up into normally those three parts. The first part reflecting on your homework for the day, questions, ideas that come up, and then the second and third hour examining the language as Pliny presents it to us, the culture, the history, and then also how we use the available resources, dictionaries and grammar books to explore those elements of the language that we see in Pliny's letters. So the benefit, if we kind of step back from that overview, is really, again, to bolster what you've learned in the first year course and take that final step towards learning how to use the resources that are available, such as dictionaries and grammars, to work through other Latin authors that you might have a particular interest in. So for instance, if you want to next turn to Cicero, or next turn to Livy, or pick any Latin author you choose, the idea is that you will then have the tools necessary, right, to work through those authors on your own. You'll know how to use the dictionary, how to use the grammar, right, to unlock those texts for yourself. Right. And the very final component, it's frequently a question from students, well, after I've taken this class, how is that experience memorialized? So at the end of our session together, I compose a performance evaluation of your performance over our time together. And this is a very important part of the class because it gives me the opportunity to reflect on our many weeks together and explain how much your knowledge and experience with the language has grown over that time. And you're able to take that performance evaluation, right, with you, which memorializes your experience, and take it to your home institution or wherever you choose to take your next level of Latin. And that evaluation will explain to that instructor what your level is. What are you prepared for? Very frequently, right, I assign a grade, right, at the end of that performance evaluation, and that grade is the equivalent of right, your performance in the course. Now, frequently as well, I'm called upon to perhaps correspond directly with your next instructor. So, for instance, if you are at your home institution and your instructor wants more detail about your performance or your ability, you're always free to have that instructor write to me directly. And I very frequently correspond with the instructor and explain what we've done in our sessions together and what my opinion is of your ability. And that goes a very long way, that sort of personal touch, personal communication. And as Professor Dittmar said, in the 8 years that I've been teaching for the Erasmus Academy, that performance evaluation and frequently a personal communication at your home institution with whoever will be teaching that next course, or a registrar, or whoever that may be, that is a very sort of, I think, an important part of what you gain, right, from taking a class with the Erasmus Academy.
Great. Sounds good. Well, maybe I'll come back on, Dr. DeSmidt, and just
Thank you.
mention a couple of things. So I guess you can see my somewhat blurred picture, contrast to your very clear picture. Thank you so much for a very detailed description of what the course will entail and what they can expect to accomplish. I think that also your words about writing a letter of recommendation or corresponding with a professor is very good. Also, a couple of your evaluation and your grade, if it's assigned, if the student requests that, is also kept on file with the Erasmus Academy. And 2 or 3 years down the road, if you want to apply for a scholarship or you apply for another advanced degree, then you can always contact the Erasmus Academy office, and it will send out on its letterhead the course evaluation that Dr. DeSmidt will have written. So I wanted to mention a couple things. First of all, I'm very excited about this course, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity. There may be a good number of students from last summer and the prior summers, of course, of students that you have taught that might join you with this once they get a whiff of of how interesting the course is going to be. But I wanted to say that we do have a couple early bird registration options for those of you who are interested in enrolling. By December 20th, if you have full payment, which is 850, then the full course is then 850 because that's the first early bird registration deadline. The second one is in January the 12th. So if you make a full payment at that time and the deadline is the 12th, then the full payment amounts to 950. Otherwise, the regular course fee applies of 1050. And I should say that for a regular semester course, and this is equivalent to, if not more, than a regular semester course at colleges, because you have the additional hour of the preceptor, would be normally you pay 1800, 2500 for a semester course up to 3000. So since we have low overhead here with Erasmus Academy up to this point, then our course fees are quite moderate. So I think you'll appreciate that too. So anyway, I want to thank you again, Dr. Schmidt, for giving us such an interesting presentation. Did you have any other
Thank you.
further words of encouragement or anything you want to say before we close out?
Well, I'm very excited about the course. I mean, I know having read the letters before, I perhaps am a bit more excited about it because I've had that experience. But for those of you who are interested in it, I mean, these are some of the incredible letters. I mean, discussions, for instance, of persecution of the Christians, a description of the volcanic eruption that covered Pompeii,
Hmm. Hmm.
in which Pliny's uncle, right, really adopted father, was killed. I mean,
Hmm.
there are
Hmm.
absolutely incredible stories
Hmm.
told in a really wonderful Latin. So I
Hmm.
couldn't be more excited about it. So
And it's
I think the course will offer a
yeah,
lot.
it's a really a personal take on that, isn't it? On historical events, as opposed to just
Very
reading
much so.
some chronicle of the sequence of events.
No, this is a person who is in the highest echelons of society, you know, a friend of the emperor. You know, we have correspondence between Pliny and Trajan.
Hmm.
Uh, so we have really some unique correspondence between individuals that only survives here,
Hmm.
that we
Interesting.
only get a glimpse of through Pliny. So.
Wow, great. Well, I encourage you all to enroll in the course and also tell your friends. I should add also that we do have a sort of a way of honoring or um, uh, not I wouldn't say gifting, but if you enroll in the course, then you can get any rate whatever you pay for depending upon when you register. But if you refer someone who actually ends up enrolling in the course, then we're very happy to send you a little a gift of $50 for referring someone who is enrolled in the course. So keep that in mind because we often have people who've been referred by others and then they get a reimbursement of 50 or a discount on their course fee. So that's another little incentive to explore and take a look at the course description. We're going to be sending this out and to all the students who have taken the courses earlier. So those of you who are listening to this, you may have by then received a letter from the Erasmus Academy about that. So anyway, I guess we'll sign off. And any other thing you want to say or add before we close, Dr. Schmidt?
No, I don't think so,
Great.
other than happy holidays, you know,
Oh yeah,
and all
happy
that.
holidays.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, thanks so much, and thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Bye bye.